We are back to the Real Estate Radio Show featuring Chris Lofthus of the Chris Lofthus Group at Keller Williams Realty. You can reach him at chrislofthus.com. Go to the website or a quick email. Contact us at CLG, that's as in Chris Lofthus Group, Eagle.com. And just a fabulous Saturday, an opportunity not only to, and Chris, I guess if you're driving around, you go, hey, I really like that house. They can reach out to you. But more importantly, as they listen and say, well, we were going to wait till July to list our home, they can call you today right now if they want.
Yeah, and I encourage people too, especially the fact we start talking about all these different things that are going on out there and what's going on just in general with the marketplace. I mean, I sure would want to know. I mean, it's free information, and I'm surprised actually. We get a lot of phone calls and we have a lot of listings, but fact of the matter is I'm surprised it's a free product. You know, you can call me direct, 514-5003. You can call Annette, chat with Jerry. We'll come out. We'll give you a free, we can even email it to you, but we like to come out and see the house at least and see the condition. But yeah, I mean, I would want to know what the value of my house is, and if I needed to sell it within 30, 60, or 90 days, we can also give you those predictions as well.
Yeah, we always say this isn't for everyone. Chris is plenty busy. So if you look at it and go, oh, he's going to twist my arm and he's not going to try to sell you. He's going to try to help you. That's why he does this show. Speaking of help, Burton Friesz of Burton Friesz Bath and Kitchen Remodeling and Improvement. Burton, what are you seeing? And I don't know if it's the time of year or whatever. I know how busy you are, but are you doing a lot of kitchens, a lot of master baths, or you might be saying, hey, I'm doing a lot of rec rooms. What are you, Burton, what are some things you're doing right now?
Seems like we're doing a lot of kitchens. We have a lot of folks that, that's the area they're focused on right now. We've done a couple of whole house remodels as well. It seemed like it started with the kitchen and then just kept growing as they, one part turns new and it makes another part look kind of old. So then we're into the entertainment center and kind of moving around the house. And I've just noticed that folks they're really enthused about fixing their home up the way they want it. You know, some folks are staying in their home a little longer and not just trading. And so they're making them the way they want them. They like the established, neighborhood and the trees and the school, and the thought of moving it's way easier to do the remodel. So kitchens right now seem to be our biggest.
You can reach out to Burton at 447-8651. That's 447-8651. And Burton, I share when I recommend you is it's more than just a hammer and a nail and a level. It's I'm still living in this home while you're doing the remodel. And it's all nice that Bob the builder across the street who doesn't have anything to build says, hey, I'm a remodeler, but he's used to nobody being around, where you're used to dealing with families, schedules. And oh, by the way, I got to have a sterno stove or something so you can cook dinner while I'm doing all the repairs.
We do.
What are you laughing about? Isn't that what you do, sterno stove, or that doesn't work?
Well, we definitely have done temporary kitchens. A lot of times the laundry room, if it has a sink, becomes the temporary kitchen. So depending on the family and their needs, we'll just work around whatever we have to, especially the time of day that we show up and that we leave, to make that exchange in the morning between it's a house and now it's a construction zone. We think about those things. We really hold our clients' hands from the beginning to the end. I actually go shopping with the clients, and we pick out everything together so that I make sure that what we plan to do and what gets purchased is all going to mate together.
Chris, how many vendors are going to do something like that? I mean, if you look, I know all yours do that, but I'm thinking Burton will actually go with me to the lumber yard and to get the appliance. I mean, all the stuff that's involved. Now, that makes perfect sense, but how many people actually do that?
Well, they do. I mean, the fact of the matter is people want to know what they're getting, and that's why I use people like Burton, and the fact that he will take the time and will go with your wife or go with you and your wife to go out and pick out the product, because I sure would want to know what I'm getting myself into, and that's one of the biggest complaints we hear, not just with remodeling guys but builders in general, is that when the finished product is there, it's not what they are they were planning on or what they thought, or paint color. Where Burton can get together, and whether Burton takes you and you choose colors and tiles and granite and all that type of stuff. The fact of the matter is it's an extremely important portion of it, because at the end of the day, Burton, he wants what you want. He wants you to refer him to other people or your friends or family to do what he does.
Yeah. Bill Young also with us today from Prospect Mortgage. He's the senior loan officer, and I underline this, the renovation financing specialist. Now, Bill, I know you're not going to go shopping with me at Fort Knox to get money, but that being said, I can just tell by every time we have you on, people go, that Bill Young knows what the heck he's talking about. And I said, well, the reason is you don't do car loans, you don't do truck loans or you guys focus in one thing, it's mortgages.
That's absolutely true. And I'll tell you that I'm doing more renovation financing than anybody in the state of Idaho. I've really caught on to this. I love the product. The process is very similar to qualifying for any loan. The extra work is done on my side. I take care of my clients from, I want to be their lender for life. And even though the project's completed, I stay in touch with them. They call me with questions. I answer my phone. I'm very easy to reach out to.
Yeah, and Chris, it just seems like it makes so much sense. You're like, well, but I guess now here it is, and you get not only the home of your dreams, but the master or whatever it is. As Burton said, it might be a rec room, but you can make this home the purchase that you're making and get it all bundled into one.
Well, this is why this product is so teed up for Burton and what he does and what Bill does, and for us right now with what is going on truly with inventory levels. And the fact of the matter is, for example, we discussed this last week. You have a husband and wife with a family, and they go to Meridian. They can afford between $200,000 and $250,000. We show up there. There's not a whole lot of product. So the fact of the matter is, we can kind of think out of the box now. This has given us an option to call Bill and to call Burton and say, hey, Burton, get over. We do it all the time. Burton does it on a weekly basis for my clients. When they walk into a house, they're like, hey, God, we love it, but what can we do here? And this is kind of a new thing we're working with and kind of working our way through. But the fact of the matter is, Burton and Bill together, we're going to start seeing them do a lot of stuff together because we're really, the families don't have an options. And now if they see the option, then Burton can come in and say, hey, it's going to cost $20,000, but Bill can roll it into the final end loan with Prospect. Everybody wins. We get the product we need for our client. Burton Friesz, does the work for you, and it's clean, and he's a positive, great guy, and he does a great job. And then Bill Prospect puts the final loan together, and we close it out at Pioneer Title, and we're all good to go.
Now, Bill, besides a remodel, and I'm just thinking, putting myself in the listener's shoe, what if I say, well, I really, what I need is an appliance, or I got a roof that's worn out, or the paint, interior, exterior, or I got some flooring. Can you help me with that too, or does it just have to be a remodel, or help me out on that?
Absolutely. It's anything that you can imagine that house needs, from appliances to roof to heating and air conditioning, new flooring. The purpose of the renovation loan is to make the house worth more. We want to make sure that our assets is protected and that the customer is getting a real value out of the transaction. And in most cases, there's instant equity created above and beyond what the purchase price is, plus the renovation costs.
All right, Bill, a couple of things for our listeners that if you can get this bundled up ahead of time. I think Kurt talks about 2, 2, and 2. Will you remind our listeners, or maybe that's just a thing that came over from Glasgow, Montana with Kurt and his family, but I think it's 2 years tax returns.
Absolutely. 2 years tax returns, 2 months of pay stubs, and 2 months of bank statements. In today's world, we have to document everything. It's not what I know, it's what I can prove. And I have to prove that on a daily basis to my underwriters. And so the more information that I have up front, and I can submit a file that is complete in all of its contents, the easier the transaction goes and the quicker it closes.
All right. And Bill, what's the easiest way to get a hold of you?
You can reach me on my cell phone anytime, weekends, after hours. That's 208-407-9933. I'm here to help and give you the information that you need to make a very well-informed decision on your financing needs.
Yeah, and if you want to just go to the website, it's yourloanontime.com. And Burton, I think you'll do the same thing as Chris does, is if somebody says, well, will you come and look at my kitchen and give me some ideas? We call that free consulting. You're not going to hammer any nails or anything like that, but are you open to that?
Sure, we do that on a daily basis. Really enjoy that, actually, to get out and meet folks and see their excitement, how they know that this place can be what they want it to be, and then maybe they just don't know how to get there, and or what it's going to cost. So in a short consultation, within a half hour, Having done this for almost 30 years, I can pretty much tell you about where you're going to be.
All right. How's the best way to track you down, Burton?
Phone number 447-8651 or our website, burtonsremodel.com.
All right. 447-8651. Burton, really appreciate you coming on. Bill, as always, the expert. You can just tell by Bill when he's talking about, I mean, that's not my favorite thing to eat, sleep, and drink, but I'm glad that when I reach out to I'm a guy like Bill's working for me.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of this show. And my thing is I like to promote these vendors that, like we always say, I can put my stamp of approval on, Burton, Friesz Remodeling, or Prospect Mortgage, Kurt Holton, or whether it's Bill, and that's kind of the point of the show. And I want to reach out to people and say, look, here's the deal. Get in front of a professional all the time. I don't care if it's me or if it's Burton or Bill. I trust these guys, and that's kind of, like I say, the stamp of approval. But get with a professional. I see so many people try to, I don't know, go with a discount broker or go with a discount remodeler, and then they come back at the end of the day, and I said, well, I told you to go to Burton, or I told you to go to Prospect, and you decided to go the and I don't take it the wrong way, the cheap route, but tried to save money, when the fact of the matter is, when you're dealing with Bill or Prospect or Burton Remodeling, they're going to give you a good deal. They're going to be competitive. The rates are going to be competitive. And overall, you're not going to have to deal with that end of the day and going, oh, geez, what a mess I have on my hands now.
Well, I think it's all about the trust. I mean, when Burton's going with me to the Home Depot saying, hey, look at this or do this, Kurt and his crew, they're saying, have this stuff ready. You don't mind. And even if you do, I don't think people are caught up in the dollars and cents. It's what do I get? What is the value proposition? And Chris, that's the same with your group too.
That's exactly the same. And you kind of touched on this earlier in the show, and everyone says, oh God, Chris is so busy, and that's why we have it set up the way we do. That's why we have we call it the Chris Lofthus Group. That's why we have Annette, our executive assistant, Jerry Kelly, who's a client specialist, and Sharon Germain, and so on. And so as we go down the road, and you look at my group in general, the way we view the transaction or what you need, we always talk about it. Our goal is your goal, but the good part with us is you don't just have me. Yeah, you have me whenever you want me. I'm here. I'm available. But the fact of the matter is, yes, I am only one person, and so that's why I have it set up the way I do. So when the phone rings, if it's not me, it's Annette. Annette has 24-hour access to me, so she has support around her as well. And like I always say, hire talent, and that's my biggest thing. So when you hire talent, like we say, Burton, Friesz Remodeling, or we're talking about Prospect Mortgage and Bill and Kurt, that's the point I'm trying to make with everything. Just like with my company, if you surround yourself with talent and you get good people in your house doing the right things, you're going to come out with a good ending.
It's the Real Estate Radio Show featuring Chris Lofthus of the Chris Lofthus Group at Keller Williams Realty. You can go to the website, chrislofthus.com. We will be back right after this timeout.